I cannot breathe.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuned into Naughty or Nice. Let's go. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me.
Pick it once.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuned into Naughty or Nice. Let's go. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Shelly Live and V-Love. Have you ever met a sister with her shit together? Maintaining, never complaining, trying to make shit better. She's got a real good life with the right frame of mind. She's the real deal, baby, and she know how to grind. On the job or in the bedroom, baby, the truth. And with her by your side, homeboy, you can't lose. Just slip on the dress and go to work like a pro. Then bring that ass home and drop it down to the floor. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's a lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's the lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets. Shelly Live and V-Love Bird. Shelly Live and V-Love Bird. Shelly Live and V-Love Bird. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shelly Live and V-Love Bird. Shelly Live and V-Love Bird. Shelly Live and V-Love.
Hey, hey, hey. Everybody, welcome to Shelly Live.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Hump Day.
I know, right? You're so goofy.
We're going to wait for a few more people to come on.
Hope everybody's
And
Wednesday's
we're
been
gonna
good
get
so
this
far.
started.
I feel like shit. My nose is so clogged.
I know. I've been feeling like that all day, too.
We're going to touch up on some of the people that did agree and disagree and agree and disagree on the streams that came before the show went
Nobody
live.
disagreed.
I know. I'm just saying, you thought maybe somebody might. So
everybody agreed that spoke earlier.
Yeah, somebody just said like, okay. So we are touching on this topic. There's so many things going on out here with Black violence, Black, racism, whole thing with Trump, the way things are going down, police brutality on Black people, and we just wanted to kind of touch on that topic because it is so in the media right now. That is, you got to address it at some point. So not tonight. So I'm gonna let B jump into this one.
All right, y'all. The topic is I said there should be an agency in place policing the police, and I asked how many of you agree or disagree with that. I'll start by saying there should definitely be an agency in place to police the police because the things that they're doing is just uncalled for, it's inhumane, it's racist, it's so many different things. So, there are like 18,000 agencies, police agencies, and 15,000 of those are at the state and county levels. And out of that, over 15,000 are like on county levels. So you have these counties and, the mayors and the people of these little states and towns and stuff that's like policing themselves. So therefore they're getting by with so much stuff. So I put a post up on my personal page last week, and I was talking about this too, because I get sick and tired of every time I turn on the TV or when something coming across my notifications, somebody Black been killed, they've been shot in the back, unarmed, no threat. And my thing was when he shot the guy and killed him and he was running away, how is somebody a threat to you if they're running away from you? That just don't make sense. So, y'all chime in and, let's get this topic started because it's very, very, very important. Nandi said it's the right thing to do, so it's less likely to happen. Correct.
I believe that. That's true.
Mm-hmm. There should be, I think that they should put, because at one time, I'm not 100% sure, but I think, hey, Abba, They had a federal agency in place for that at one point in time, and they have what's called qualified immunity, which protects
Right.
officers that are incompetent or use excessive force and all this stuff to give them a slap on the wrist and let them go on home, on administrative leave with pay after they've done something that they know they shouldn't have done.
Right.
And at the expense, all these lawsuits that these places are getting, that's at the expense of us, the taxpayers, is paying all these high ass lawsuits that people are getting because of these reckless police officers. And I'm not saying all officers are bad, because there are some good ones that do the right thing. I'm talking about the ones who don't. I just want to make that
But
clear.
that's still a majority of people. I mean, you got to think. You bring police officers; they're halfway trained. They're underpaid. They get out here and they figure they got the law, which they realize right now that the law is gonna back them at 100, no matter what they do, especially if it's driven by color. So if you let one get off, pat them on the back, and then you have a chain that follows that saying, okay, it's okay, I can do this and I can get away with it. And that's what's been done, and that's what's been repeated.
Right. That's correct. And the legislation can modify or eliminate qualified immunity, which if they do end it, it will make cops be held accountable for their actions, which they should be anyway, especially if you're shooting somebody in the back, you tasing people for nothing, if they just standing there and they asking you a question, because everybody has the right to know. And you got to know your rights, people. Everybody has the right to know why they're being stopped, why they're being detained. Right. And if you're not detaining me, I do not have to stay here. But if you leave, then they're saying, well, you're under investigation. For what? If I'm not being detained, what did I do?
I'm not being detained, right.
And they get mad at you if you know your rights, because you're making them look stupid, because a lot of them don't even know the penal codes. When you have hood dudes, and that's one thing about hood dudes can quote what the law
some shit to you very quickly.
Look, they will school your ass on what the law is, and
on the law, because they're used to being detained.
And they don't know. And if they say it's penal code XYZ or QRST, and they be like, well, what you talking about? He's like, look it up, and he gonna quote that shit to the letter.
Quote it to you, because they know it. They know it. They're studying this stuff just like everybody else. And it's just like even women. If you're being pulled over, you have the right to take yourself to a lit up area, and they cannot do anything to you if you are uncomfortable.
That's right. Well, if I get pulled over, you know what I'm doing? It's at nighttime. I'm going to call 911 and I'm going to say, it's a police behind me. You need to let that officer know that I'm going to a well-lit area and I'm not stopping on this dark street. That's what I'm going to do.
Right.
And you have that
because you don't know what will happen now, honey. People is out here running crazy in these streets.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony. Hey, Orlando. But yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to do that, And then also, when they're what's the word I'm looking for? When they're concealing evidence from these body cams. Right. There should be better data collection of what's going on, what they did, how they did it, when they did it, and why. That should all be on that dash cam, from them talking to somebody as to, why are they using excessive force when they don't have to. If somebody just standing there, and I've seen officers just come to blue and tackle the person.
Who are just attacking one person.
They're telling you I can't breathe. It don't take 5 or 6 officers to hold one person down. That's just ridiculous.
That's true.
Especially if they're saying, I'm not resisting. I got my hands behind me. Can you get off me? I can't breathe.
Can you get off me?
And then they have a conversation and laughing at the people. That's not, no, man. It's just like, it just makes me mad when I just think about it.
But you got to realize too, even with the webcam that they have in their car, enough people be videotaping now, honey, that you can see it all. But you can just get somebody's camera, because now people are holding their cameras up, taping every time they see a cop pull over a black person, or every time they see somebody hemmed up in a corner by a white cop. They're like, oh, let's go live, because they already know it's going to be some foolery.
Yeah.
And that's not a safe place to be.
I was watching something on Instagram, and the guy was saying he got pulled over, and this white lady just pulled over to the side of the road, and he was like, oh shit, what's going on? But she had her phone up the whole time. So when the officer finally left, she said, I sat here to make sure that you were going to be okay. He said, now that's an ally I need, because she was like, it's so much going on. I was afraid that if I left, you wouldn't have a witness and you wouldn't have anybody or anything to tell your story. That's sad.
But you know,
I mean,
even sometimes you think it look at George Floyd. Even with him, there was so many people that videotaped it, but look how long it took them to prosecute these people. You see what I'm saying? These police officers that did what they did. It wasn't like 1, 2, 3. They had enough footage of what took place, but it didn't hold no accountability.
And not only that, none of the officers said he could be charged with murder because he died from a drug overdose. The man was clearly telling you he could breathe. You sat there and you cut his
on your
off.
Knee on him, yeah, and you cut his. So
now they're trying to justify that and try to put that into place somewhere that had nothing to do with nothing. And then once they found out he wasn't doing anything wrong, he still sat there with his knee on his neck for over 8 minutes.
And he kept saying, "I cannot breathe."
Hey Johnny. Johnny said you should stop in a lit area. That's right. Hey Harlem. Harlem said you got to cut your lights on inside your car first in order to drive to a lighted up area. Okay. Well, I didn't know that part, but I didn't know that part.
I just know in Atlanta you can drive to a lit place. That I know for a fact.
Yeah. Anthony said, I have 4 sons and I've told them as soon as they see blue lights to automatically grab your phone and start recording. That's where we at now, Anthony, with all this. You better record.
Mm-hmm.
You have to.
Because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what they're going to say when they come to your car, especially men and women. If you have black boys, especially telling them, if you look like the average black boy on the street with probably dreads and your pants dropped, then you could be just as educated as you want, honey. It makes no difference when you get stopped.
It does not. And now they don't even care if you're female. It don't matter.
Yeah.
All they see is the color of your skin. And that's it.
And that's pretty much a done deal for you.
And when they're making it okay for them to think that they can do what they want to do, but they're gonna have to start soon looking at what people start retaliating. And because now when their people are stopped, they automatically on the defense.
Because they're scared. What else would you be? You like when they walking up, you're like, oh shit, what is it gonna be right now? What they finna tell me? That's crazy, because that's what we're on. And it's bad that and then we don't have like our president isn't standing behind any of it either. So you kind of wide open out here, running this little thing we got going on. It's crazy.
This is like, when they're trying to change that no-knock law. When they went in Breonna Taylor's house and killed her, that wasn't even the right guy they was looking for. It was an ex-boyfriend or whoever. So they were not only in the wrong house, they went to the wrong house looking for the wrong person, and then the other person they finally came up with and found. And then this girl is dead for what? For nothing.
For nothing.
Yeah. And that's not the first time it happened. And then another thing is when they're doing these no-knocks and the parents are not home and the older child is watching the younger ones while the mother or whoever is at work. That happened in Florida. They had the little bitty kids, like 3, 5, 7, and 13 or 14 on the ground with guns pointed at them babies.
At their heads.
Them kids was terrified. And that's just
and probably didn't even understand what they was being held down there for in the first place. That's the sad
girl
part.
Was screaming. I mean, just screaming at the top of her lungs, without thinking they're gonna die. These babies don't even know.
See, once again, it comes back to if nothing is being done. I mean, you go out here, you protest, they shooting, they killing, they looting, they doing all kinds of stuff. Them cops gonna stop you. They got the power to do it. You got the black ones even pitching in, trying to help stop all the stuff going on in the street. Some cops, and I'm gonna say this, we're not saying all cops. All cops are not messy. All cops are not crooked. But the ones that are, they know who they are. They know why they join. Some people join law enforcement just for the power of having enforcement. That's it.
But a lot of those that are like that, other than being prejudiced, racist, or whatever you may call it, a lot of them have been bullied, and now they have the authority to do these things, and they take it too far.
Right.
Abba said, many officers, from what I've heard, use extra force as a means to display a power they could only wish for at home. It's the same principle of a bully. Right, Abba, that's what I was just saying. You're absolutely right. We agree on something, Abba.
What? Abba,
and Anthony said, one thing I know for sure is that back in the 90s, Hickory Police Department made me learn the law. You better have.
Mhm.
And not just here, but anywhere. You better know the law. You know, and
Better know your rights.
you think about like all the people that they take into custody for nothing, and they have to release them with no charges or nothing. It's just swept under the rug, never heard about. That's a violation. Why would you
But
do that?
who's looking into it to enforce the
Nobody.
violation? Nobody.
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 And you know, high speed chases. Why did they start? Why were they even conducted? Did the person crash? Did they die? You
Did
don't
they
hear
do
about
something, right?
And the federal and state levels don't even know. They have no answers to it, because when you got these smaller law enforcement agencies, they keep everything in house. And
Yeah,
you know,
and they can make evidence go away very quickly.
yeah, exactly. And you know, you just have, like they said, it's a what's it called? It's a the police department in LA or somewhere in California, and they have gangs, and they have these tattoos with skulls and all this stuff on them. So one officer was a whistleblower. Now listen, within 15 minutes, they knew that he had blew the whistle. He's under protective custody.
Under custody.
They know him. That came from internal affairs. So somebody in internal affairs is within that group too. So you have the worst gangs with these badges on. Okay. So, hey, Greg. Greg said, your attire doesn't matter. When that well-dressed lady in the Mercedes was stopped in a parking lot, the officer yanked her and threw her on the ground and got on top of her. Wow, it's just your color they look at. That's exactly what I just said, Greg.
And I don't care if it don't make what shade. It doesn't matter what you are.
Like in the one place when they called, a little girl walked out. It was the mother and the father, a black couple. She was pregnant and walked out of a Dollar General or something somewhere. I can't remember where it was. They called the police. The little girl, they not paying attention, walked out the store with a dollar doll, like a little Barbie or something. They threw that man to the ground, grabbed the pregnant lady, and like was cussing him, and like excessive force for your ass. I mean, it was unnecessary. It was like
pregnant lady
with it in her hand. A little girl took the little child screaming, and the lady screaming, "I'm pregnant! I'm pregnant!" And they about to throw her to the ground too. Greg said they feel that it's okay to disrupt your life forever. About doesn't want to be an inconvenience to themselves. Correct. But
it's
you know,
bad.
And then you know, when people dying in jail, you never hear about. You heard a person died in jail. You might hear a little bit of why, but then it's gone. It's disappeared.
And then the story just vanishes, just like that. It goes away. It happens all the time.
Right. You know, in California, where they was finding all these lynchings not long ago, just a month or so ago. Ain't heard nothing else about that. People ain't climbing in no damn trees, hanging themselves.
Hanging their damn selves. But once again, it goes back down to you have nobody enforcing anything, or nobody's getting any penalties behind what they're doing. There's no actions being taken. If you're going to get suspended with pay, I'd go out and commit a crime too. Hell, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm just going to get a pat on the shoulder, and I'm going to go home, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to do it again. And you still going to be black at the end of the day when I do it again. You see what I'm saying? That's probably their mentality, how they looking at stuff. It don't matter.
That's a vacation.
Okay? For anybody.
They get paid for harassment. Is what they're getting paid for. Period.
Bad scene.
Hey,
Anita.
She said, or they end up committing suicide. And you know, that happens a lot too when they feel like, you know, the doors, the walls are closing in on them. They'll commit suicide before they go to prison, because they know all them people in there that they don't put away for nothing.
Yep.
And they got to be with the general population. They know it's a wrap.
Population gonna whoop their ass, and you already know.
Right. They'd rather kill themselves than go in there and face what they've done, and they know
whatever they've done. Yep.
My thing is, how can you sleep at night doing people like that?
How can people sleep at night doing any kind of crime? Some people don't have it. I mean, because you got to realize racism is real. When a person is prejudiced or racist, they ain't seeing your heart, your soul. They seeing a nigga. Excuse my language, Facebook, but they're seeing a nigga. And when you see that, they don't care if you nice, if you kind, if you got kids at home, if it's great. All they see is a black person who they don't even want to touch them in front of them. And that's one less black person gone.
But then when you have your commander-in-chief promoting it, what are you supposed to do?
What do you do?
And then
every
you have
state is different.
And not only that, you have to think about all these heads of states, a lot of them, and people in power come from a long list of Klansmen. And now it's just their children that running everything. So what do you expect?
And they tolerate you just enough to get through what they got to get through. And a person that's really prejudiced, that really does not like black people, they have a hard time being around them for long periods of time. You can pick it up when they really, really just don't like you. How many times have I went to work and got on the elevator and it says nigger written on the elevator? Somebody just went in there and wrote it. They got, oh God, yes. They got cameras on the elevator. They can see it, but nobody addresses it. There's not nothing done about it. So it is what it is.
They're not going to. Nita said, all those people are not committing suicide. No talking about all these people lately have been found hung. Right. That's what I was just talking about, Nita. When they was found like 5 or 6 people within like a 2-week span just hanging from trees. Who gonna decide to go hang themselves?
I'm just gonna jump off this branch.
Right. Ernest said, we are not an agency, but the coppers are being watched. Hello, Queens. Hey, Ernest.
Hey,
but
Ernest.
That's like that prison that they were protesting in Mississippi about 6 weeks ago, where they're telling families that their loved ones are in the hospital, but they're actually dead, been beat up by the cops, or they done had them jumped on in there and they dying. And then they'll send them to the hospital, make it look like they've been in the hospital and got sick. And the one guy was in there for 20 years for stealing, what was it? I can't remember what it was, but it was only like $12. And he'd been in there for 20 years.
For $12.
Now, Mississippi and Alabama, they do shit their way. That's the state you won't catch my black ass in, okay? I ain't going. I might slide
you look at the movie How It All Ends. Not How It All Ends. The movie they did with what's it called? Are We There Yet? Or have we got? Can't remember the name of the movie. But the boys, what was the name of the damn movie? It's at the tip of my tongue. And the boys went to jail, and they, it just came out recently on Netflix. It was a big movie. God, it's at the tip. About the guys that was in the park and they got accused for the crimes. They went to jail and then they got out years later. The Central Park 5. It was at the tip of my tongue. Yeah, and look how them boys went to jail for some time, honey. And when they came out, they was damaged. All the money in the world could not put their lives back together. Especially the one dude that went through being beat and raped and touched. And you can't give somebody that back. Right. You can't give somebody back that. I don't care how much money you give me. You done took my life away from me.
Stripped them of their dignity, their pride,
everything at young ages, at very, very young ages. And then you being there, like, and you come out when you 40 years old, ain't nothing good about your life. I mean, the average woman that's with you is going to be like, well, damn, you done been raped and touched and this and that. That's what people be thinking. I know they're out doing their thing, but it's just the whole principle behind that. It's just ugly.
You know how much psychological damage they done to those boys or men now, and then they didn't. And then once they knew they had the evidence showing, and the guy confessed, and they still let them sit there. They should have locked all them people's ass up.
But they didn't. And the one lady in the end, she still never came clean and said, oh, you know what? I was wrong. I shouldn't have did it. They wasn't trying to apologize. They saw some black boys that looked like they could be pinned on. They knew the family was poor and broken. They had enough evidence to prosecute their family and torture them and say, hey, just go ahead and say you did it. Just go ahead and say you did it. Who does this? Inhumane people.
And not only that, our commander-in-chief did $1 million campaign saying that they was guilty even way back then.
And they weren't. And
No, they weren't. And the one that
And
got
they weren't.
tortured the most wasn't even at the park. He was at the little diner with his girlfriend.
At a
He was
whole
never
nother
there.
place and just went along with his friend. Like, I'm gonna go with you. You know, I'll go when you
Mike-
come. And then he getting and you sitting there and they go, oh, you fit the description. Come in here. Go ahead, hon. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike. Mike said, yes, we need some kind of agency to police the police. Nita said, girl, those Hickory cops stopped me. Your mama, Vaughn, back a long time ago, we were coming from a play. You know, your mom was like, what y'all stopping us for? I know mama like gave him the business, but and Ernest said, Black Lives Matter, vote Biden Harris, my people, she. Okay.
You're damn right. That's what the song should be at the end of that.
Listen, if you've never voted in your life and you are 18 or older, get to these polls and vote. Early voting is October 15th. I'm telling y'all, this is the most crucial time to vote, because if we get another 4 years of what we got right now, I ain't gonna say the word, we screwed, point blank, period. Because this is gonna get worse and worse and worse. Because you have to think who you have at the head of this stuff, condoning
all the wrong trickling down.
Condoning little white boys walking around with AR-15s in a peaceful protest, just shooting innocent people, saying, okay, they should have got it. Who does that? That's like, no, y'all better
have that kind of president.
Y'all can say what y'all want to say about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, but I ain't about because she black and she this. I'm about who's doing the right thing and who's trying to do something for the people. Of course, everybody done some little sketchy shit in their careers or whatever the case may be to get here, that, but nobody is perfect. And you can't throw stones if you got a damn glass house yourself. I'm just saying, you better get out there and vote and hope you vote for the right people. That's all I'm gonna say about it, because I don't want to get too deep into that.
Right.
Nita said, don't plan on it, Nita. You better exercise your vote, girl, especially up there in Virginia. Thank you, Ernest. Ernest said, preach that Vonda with your fine ass.
Ernest, you a whole mess.
But you know, it's and then you gotta think too, like, of all these agencies, how many citizens come in and file complaints that never get that get swept under the rug? The officers not for misconduct, that, you know, filing complaints against officers for misconduct. We never ever hear about it. Local government, state government, federal government, the state and federal government don't hear about it. How much is that is swept up under the rug? You know, and they keep it internal and be like, well, you know, I'll probably tell them something, we'll take care of it, don't worry about this or if they're being harassed and all types of stuff because they filed a complaint. Who knows? We don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy out here, y'all. Y'all better get with the program. I'm telling you, because this is not getting any better.
Gotta get ugly. It's gonna get uglier as time goes and progresses. It is. It's gonna get worse before it gets better.
And you know, like somebody said earlier, Greg was saying, and I was saying earlier too, we be so concerned about our black men and, you know, young black boys, but the girls is getting the business too. Did you see with a group of girls, it was a group of white girls and one little black girl, and the officer just walked over and started punching the little black girl. And they was trying, I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was the officer or just a white guy. I can't remember. I don't want to say and be wrong. But just and the little white girls was trying to pull him off the little girl. I mean, just start punching her and beating her because she was with the white girls.
Teenagers, that's just crazy.
Young girls.
But you know, it's a lot of racism in high schools, honey, in schools, period. I mean, you can't, if you go to mixed school, color school, halfway school, honey, you black.
Yeah. Ernest said, Super Shelley, good to see you're doing well with your fine ass.
You're so silly. Thank you, hon.
But you know, I'm tired of them getting a slap on the wrist. You know what I'm saying? For all the shit that they out here doing. You know, there's no reason to harass anybody. Stop stopping people for being black with no crime. You know what I'm saying? Or stopping people because they drive a nice car and just stupid stuff. Like if ain't nobody speeding, they ain't got no tail lights out, they ain't making no illegal turns, they ain't ran no red light, no stop sign, no none of that shit. They ain't they warrants, because before they even walk up to your car, they know if you got insurance and they know if that car is registered. First and foremost.
Right. They done checked all that out.
Yeah, they can do that just by running your tag. It is sad, girl. Yeah. But yeah, you think about like my skin color ain't gonna change. Theirs ain't either.
No.
Like the white lady that's a historian, Jane Elliott. Y'all need to listen to her. I love her because she be setting these white folks straight. She told her one white lady, she said, well, I'm afraid if they're empowered, they're gonna do us like we've done them. She said, well, wouldn't that be fair? How would you feel? And she asked it.
Exactly.
And she said, you're afraid of black people. She told her, she said, you just a faded black person because the further away you move from the equator, that's when your skin started changing. So
they don't like you, but they want to get it. They want to go out there and tan and be bronze like you. They like you just enough.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
They want to go out and get as tan as dark as they want to get on the beach, but they don't want to look like, that should tell you something right there, right?
They had a protest not too far from me about a month or so ago. And this little hillbilly white dude was walking around with I don't know what it was. It looked like a shotgun, but it could have been an AR, could have been any type of gun. Walking around, the police giving him dap. I said, now if that was a black man walking around in broad daylight in a protest with a weapon, they'd have tackled his ass or shot him dead in the middle of the street. And that's just how it is.
Different folks for different strokes. Yep.
Yeah.
But then, but then too, it doesn't give Black people the right to go ahead and act ignorant to give people something too. Because, sometimes you'll see people pulled over. The cop may not be really giving them the business. And then they just start doing all the extra just for the scenery. That ain't called for either, though. Like you can't add, fuel to the fire and want to watch it burn and then say someone did something to me when you just acting ignorant altogether. It doesn't give you the right to act ignorant.
That's true.
Especially if it's something you're trying to solve. You can't solve a problem by acting a fool. Hey, Donnie.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. And now, hey, Donnie, and back to now, I don't condone people going out here when it's supposed like the George Floyd situation and the guy that got killed at the Wendy's in Atlanta, people going out looting and all this type of shit. That has nothing to do with a protest. Y'all shouldn't be doing that. I'm just saying that. But we didn't start it. It was white groups that were paid to go out here and start breaking this stuff and making it look like we did it, and we followed suit. So the Black folks didn't start that looting shit. It was white groups, white supremacy groups that went out and started busting out windows and shit, taking stuff, and then they put everything on us that we started that. They go out and then Black people bite the bait and then start following suit. That's how.
But then you got to be smarter than that. You don't go out and join the fools that's doing. That's what I'm saying. Right, you don't say, "Oh, they starting it." Right. So I'm gonna jump out here. I'm gonna do what you do. That's stupid. You already know they after you. You're Black.
Right. But that had nothing to do with social injustices and none of that.
Right.
So the stuff that they did. They was out here taking shit just to be taking it, and that was wrong. Period.
Stealing stuff for what? What you gonna do with it? Where is it going?
Yeah. Because they tore Lenox Mall up. So
but you got your own, but you think you got your own people in them all scared to death because you in here looting and you Black. How dumb do you look?
It just didn't make no sense.
I don't think the states are equipped to handle anything bigger than anything. They just aren't. No. Whatever it may be, because the sad thing, you have Black people that are very intelligent. You have Black people that are super ignorant, and you have Black people that just like that. They don't think. They just act. They just react so quickly. It's like, okay, but where your brain come in? You gotta use your brain. In this time, in this age, you got to use your brain. You can't be out here huffing and puffing and breaking shit and think ain't nobody gonna say nothing to you. That ain't gonna work. This end of the day, you Black.
Well, common sense is not contagious. That's for certain. I know, right? So it's bad. What they say, stupid is and stupid does. Don't be monkey see, monkey do.
Monkey see, monkey damn do.
Yeah, you just don't do that, and it's just like, it's just really, really sad because, it's hard enough you having to watch out for the police trying to kill you, but then you got to watch out for your own fellow black person
trying to kill you. Because when black people act ignorant, they all around ignorant.
Well,
and then like saying this, like when I was interviewing Beyonce's father, that was the one thing he said. Black people don't uplift black people. They don't. We don't uplift each other. So we're looking at a white race saying, what y'all should be embracing, y'all should be doing, but we do the extra to our own damn people.
It's sad, Black lives matter, all lives matter is what I say, but how can your black life matter if you going out here killing your black brother or your black
brother over nothing? You shooting him, you in a gang, you don't like him. This one don't like the other one because this gang don't like. That's crazy to me. But then you out here fighting for Black Lives Matter.
I forgot what I was going to say, but I forgot now. But it's like, and you got these little kids that's caught in the crossfire because you mad at somebody, you got to get back at somebody. It's either gang related or y'all beefing about something stupid, about some money, some drugs, whatever the case may be. Nobody has the right to take nobody's life. Now, unless you're trying to defend yourself or your family, somebody coming into your space, into your house or your area where you're supposed to protect your family, hands down. But that's just to different. Go out here and randomly shoot in open areas where, you're having an event or it's a parade or whatever the case may be, block parties, and it's all black folks and y'all coming through shooting up the place. That's just stupid. Like my brother say, it's plenty of shit going on across the world. If y'all want to fight, go fight over there.
They need a whole bunch of folks over there.
Or wherever you want to go. If you want to be bad, take out your little weapons and whatever you got and send their ass over there. You won't need no military. Just send them over there so they could just hash it out. Instead of just killing people right here and killing these innocent kids getting caught in the crossfire. That just don't make sense.
Yep, a lot of kids get caught in the crossfire.
Ernest said the street gangs of LA is about to erupt. Gangsters out taunting the coppers. I'm against that part of the protest, and this some cold shit. Hey, LA is different, is a different place.
A whole different beast, baby.
Yeah, that's a different place, but they got to be careful. I'm telling you, because you just think when cops are recognizing civilian clothes and somebody recognize you for doing something dirty, you don't know, you don't have your you don't have your uniform on, you don't have all this stuff, your authority is not with you at the moment, you just an everyday Joe at that point. So what if somebody say, oh, okay, now it's me and you, now what you gonna do? Then that's a whole nother story. But it's crazy out here, y'all.
It's sad, but it's life. And it's real.
And like you said, everything doesn't require a reaction. If somebody pulls you over and they ask for your, just give me an ID. You ain't got to be sitting there arguing. I know my rights. Why you this? Why? Show it to them and go on about your day, so you can live another day. You know what I'm saying? Because it could turn in a split second. And I think when it's just a routine stop, why is 5, 6, 7 cops behind this person?
Behind the one person, yeah. That's true.
And then one cop is always one that instigates the bullshit. And then it turns, goes to the, excuse me, and then it goes to the left like really, really fast. That's just uncalled for and unnecessary. It don't make sense. Hey, Jeffrey.
Hey,
he Jeffrey. Said, yes, we all have to be careful as African Americans. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
And it's true.
But this is like, all these massacres when a little white boy killed all these people in the Charleston church. And all these other things that's happening. These little boys is killing folks. They stopped and get him some Burger King on the way to jail.
They said he was hungry, Vonda. The boy was hungry.
I wouldn't give it. And what's funny is I was working in the area and right at the hotel right down the street where they got the little boy from. at that time when
Wow.
they caught him in this little town around here. And I was like, damn. But anyway, like the little boy that did the shooting, that killed people in Kenosha.
Oh yeah.
They had set up a GoFundMe page for him.
That was crazy. That was some bullshit. That was
Listen,
crazy.
and the chief of police said, well, basically saying it was justified because the people shouldn't have been out after curfew. Well, wasn't his ass out after curfew too?
You know, you always hear me say it, right? What I'm always saying in my house, Jella, bring your ass home. You want to be riding right here in them cars with no rims on it, looking crazy, and you a whole black boy with braids. Like, you need to bring your behind home.
And
I be worried, honey. I be always worried.
But I give props to GoFundMe. They stopped that. They shut it down. That was like, ain't nobody funding him.
Because that was crazy. That was crazy. God, I can't breathe for real. Look, I'm worried about
them. You know how I felt when you had me sick.
Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. My head is like it's about to explode.
I never drink beer, but I was craving one today for some reason.
What, beer?
Corona?
Mm-hmm. Hey,
I got green bean and lime juice in it, so it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Ernest, good, I agree. Ernest, that Trump has to go. Even his own leader said that he should never, that he's, I don't want to get to talk about that and get us blocked, but
we're limited to what we can say on the stream about Trump.
Yeah, we got to be careful because, you know, he has a lot of supporters still. And we are the worst when it comes to supporting this man. Like, I've been watching these black folks. I'll be like, what? Like,
but you know what's another ignorant thing? A lot of black people, and I've heard it, people have been saying it on their page a lot. They're like, I'm not even going to go vote. It's not going to count. It's not. But let me tell you, when you don't do it, don't complain when shit happens. That happens because you are part of the reason why it probably went down. Don't sit back and go, oh, they just killing black people. Oh, he doing the most. Oh, he doing. Yeah, you're right, but you gave him power to do it. So be accountable for your own damn actions. If you don't want to get your lazy behind up, send somebody down there to do it for you. Mail it in, do whatever you got to do. But don't just sit there being ignorant on no live. Tell me something, oh, I ain't going, I don't want to vote today. This is just a waste of my time. Ain't nothing a waste of your time, honey, if it's about your freedom.
You know what I say? If you don't go vote, don't complain about nothing.
Period. The outcome. You can't.
Don't complain. Because I'm sure going and taking my two daughters on October 15th, and we're going to our little voting spot. I'm not playing. And I might do something and get like a group of people to just meet somewhere.
And just take them all down there, at one shot. And you know, it's really going to be hard on these immigrants, honey. My mom is a whole immigrant. Like, I need for him to move right on out of the office. And some of the laws he's trying to pass on some of these immigrants, honey, ain't even normal.
And his wife ain't even American.
but she ain't gonna be one of the ones to get deported either.
Yeah, but barely speak. But they never talk about that. Bette Midler did.
They don't. And they don't. They don't mention that at all.
Oh my God, y'all! If Obama did not even a fraction of what this man did, he would have been out so quick. It would have made your head spin. It would have, but we ain't gonna try to get too political because we do like doing our live.
We just figured we had to do a show where we talk about some of this stuff, y'all. So we ain't looking like we don't ever want to talk about it. It's just it's a hard topic. There's so much things you cannot say that it's unreal.
But it really bothers me. It bothers me a lot.
Oh, it boils Vonda's skin, y'all. She be over here venting and pasting all on the floor. She sit up at 6 o'clock in the morning reading the news and be over there tossing and turning. I be like, girl, you getting that spirit all up in you before you go to bed. I be looking over there. I be rolling over. It be 6 o'clock in the morning, about to be live on the video. I'm like, girl, go to bed. How much can you read? Your brain is gonna explode with all that negativity.
Look, I've been wanting to know what I'm about to walk out into in the world the next day, okay?
But you never know. Every day is different. When you walk out, I got pulled over that day for having my phone in my hand. That cop scared the hell out of me. I mean, when he walked up, I was like, oh, no, here I go. There I go with this bullshit. But
Did
luckily
you
he didn't. He
see?
didn't.
Did you see the video when the cop walked up to the little black girl and she was so terrified she was shaking and crying? It was a white officer lady, and she said, "It's okay." She said, "I'm not going to harm you." And she hugged the little girl. She said, "Please don't be afraid. All of us are not bad or whatever." Because the
All
little
of
girl
you not
was
right.
shaking like a leaf on a tree. That's sad.
And that's sad because it's not all white people. Because I have white friends. I got a ton of them. It ain't all white people. It ain't all black people. It's just when it comes to stuff that's not right, you cannot support things that are just not right. Period.
Yep.
Period.
You're right.
And it doesn't make a difference what color it is. You just don't support foolery. When you see something is stupid, you got a lot of people out here just wearing a shirt to say "I can't breathe" and don't even know what they're saying it for. They're just wearing a shirt because it looks like a fashion statement. That ain't what it's about. They're up there wearing banners and all kinds of stuff and have no clue what they're putting it on for.
I just saw maybe yesterday or the day before, I was looking at something and somebody had on a Black Lives Matter mask and a white person went up, snatched off their face and spit in their face.
Oh, I would have kicked their ass. See, that's just
ridiculous. You would be
ridiculous.
sending me commissary. For real.
I know. That's the lowest thing that somebody can do on you is spit on you. Somebody posted it on their wall. I think it was your brother said if somebody walk up to you and spit on you, what you would do. What the frick do you think I'm going to do? I'd be so mad I probably had to contain my brain.
I already know what's gonna happen. I'm going to jail.
It's just not gonna be a good scene. It just ain't. Whatever I'm gonna do, it's a losing the job situation. Whatever's gonna happen, it's gonna happen right there in them little 2 seconds. That's gonna take me to figure out what I'm gonna do to you.
But that's I'm looking forward to real quick over something.
Because that's some ignorant type. Somebody to spit on you, that is disgusting to every level it can be disgusting. I don't like people spitting on me when they talk.
Right.
That's when they talking, they be spitting. I be like, whoa, back up some.
It's disgusting and the ultimate disrespect that you could do to somebody. Like,
no, that is the lowest for someone to do to you, to spit on you, just literally talk and spit on you.
It's not gonna be good. Abba said, with respect to immigration, America has no duty to take care of the rest of the world, much like every individual has no duty to take care of a stranger. I can agree with that, Abba. I help strangers all the time, though. I really do.
I know. We have mom, they all be coming over here to live. Look, every stranger comes here to live.
Abba also said, from what I understand, some measures instituted by Trump benefited the American economy tremendously. When? That's say when. That little $600, that's everybody's own money who has worked, or the $600 that they should have been giving people anyway, because who's gonna live off $100 and something a week for unemployment? I mean, that's money that people they take out of your check, all this stuff. I still don't know who the hell FICA is. That's on your check.
And then take it out. Everybody take her be a good little lump sum going to whoever that is.
I could get a lot at the end of the year. You add FICA up and see what FICA is.
A piece of the pie. Abba, we already know you from somebody island, Abba, so you best to be trying to stay, get yourself together.
Right. I'm telling you, and not only that, you even go back to when the hurricane had hit Puerto Rico a couple of years ago, and he was out there tossing out paper towels like it was something funny. That place is still suffering, and then they had that big earthquake last year, or earlier this year, it tore it up again, and it wasn't even rebuilt. Do you not know that's a part of the United States too? A U.S. territory. Didn't it really happen? They still over there. I went there last year, and those people still suffering.
Yeah. Some places get hit really bad by stuff. Oh, I got a headache. Oh my God.
You gotta drink your Corona with grenadine and lime juice. It's good. It don't taste like beer.
I see honey, you look like you're having one for me and you.
Nope. That's the only one I got.
None for me, boo.
I don't buy beer. Mm-hmm. And I know we have our regular viewers, but if y'all decide to look at this later or pick it up, this is something that y'all should have jumped on this show on for today, because this affects everybody, especially if you a black or a brown person. It affects everybody. So this is something that y'all should have been on here like pinging and commenting and everything. But you know, when we talk about the crazy stuff, we enjoy all the things y'all come on with because we love y'all. But certain things everybody needs to chime in on because everybody's opinion counts, everybody's vote counts. And this is something that needs to be talked about, especially if you have young kids, if you work with young kids. You know, you got to tell them, look, you got to be careful. You're different. You're not different, but they treat you different. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that we let these kids know this, because some of them not being taught that. You know, they could just be walking. I remember like a few years ago, my little cousins and my daughter, they was like probably like 14. The cops didn't stop them, and not my daughter, but my little cousin, and frisked them and stuff. And he was right next to his grandmother's house, and they knew his grandma. Another little boy wasn't doing nothing. He's 14. What is he doing? He out with his friends, been playing basketball all day, walking with a basketball in his hand, and they decided to stop him and just, you know, frisk them.
Just bother him.
And they're not even supposed to do that without parental
consent.
Yeah, because they're underage. So, you know.
But like I tell you, some people get in house just getting that in their power roles just to play a card. It ain't about. It's just about having a card. Even the black ones. I can't tell you how many times I done got pulled over by a cop and lose the ticket just by someone saying, if you date me, if you go out with me, would you do? And this is cops that come up and say this stupidness. So people play their own part in this foolery they do. You can bat your eye at a white one or a black one on a good day, honey, and they bypass some stuff, okay? And it's sad that they do that. And look, that's why Georgia had passed that law and said you can, if you uncomfortable, that you can go in the lit area. Because when a girl got raped by the cop, what you gonna do if a cop's raping you? What do you do in a dark area? You screaming, anybody damn here, and they telling you they the law. So
Damn, what you is? You not. But look, I done batted the eye too and pushed up some titties to get out of a ticket. I ain't gonna lie.
Girl, I ain't gonna lie. I've been batting them too, but I'd be tired of that. Sometimes I be looking crazy.
To my defense, it was in daylight in a well-lit, like a busy area. I saw it. Look, what I do?
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna do it. How many more minutes we got?
Look, really? You rushing the people?
I gotta rush. I'm about to shut down, y'all. I can't breathe. My head hurting. I'm like, oh, I'm out here rocking. I'm like, can I please don't get in some alcohol?
But we're talking about this, but again, like I say, there are still some good ones. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you know them when you come across them. You do. You could tell the difference.
Know the ones that mean you well. You know the ones that are crazy and don't mean you nothing. Hi, D. Daverson.
Orlando said, just left my dinner. I'm back on. Oh, okay. I would say unemployment rates during Trump's reign have been extremely low. Wrong again. It's very high.
But what's what you don't mind?
What are you reading? You better go back.
You must be reading the wrong news, honey, because no.
I was just talking about this on CNN the other day.
No.
Hey, Angel. Angel said the problem is anytime there is an agency working with the government, they all end up on the same team due to the benefits of them protecting the officers are greater than them going against them. That depends, Angel. That's what I was saying. You know, you have some on a federal level when they come in. That's why the locals and the county offices hate when the feds come in, because they sometimes I'm agree with you too. Sometimes they dig in their ass and they don't like that because they have to start justifying the things that have been done. But we need somebody in there now to that's not biased. And these cops that are out here doing this messed up stuff should be held accountable. Stop getting slaps on the wrist and being, given administrative pay, leave with administrative pay, costing taxpayers more money and stuff for just out here straight killing people. That's just murder. Call it, it is what it is. No ifs, ands, or buts. And an incident happened up here with that. So, and you haven't heard anything else about it. No weapon found, from my understanding. Boy shot in the back. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. How do you justify shooting somebody in the back? If I'm away from you, I am no threat
Didn't
to
they
you.
say the one guy had they thought he had a knife in his car or something like
How
that?
did they know he had a knife when they followed him to the car and shot
This is
him
what they
before
said.
he got in the car? That's what they said. But my thing is, if he did, how would y'all know? Y'all never let him get to his car. He was glad they were there because he was breaking up the fight, and then they shot the man in front of his kids.
And
And you know
his
that
kid, and the
he-
girl was jumping in the video. She was just jumping and screaming. I was like, oh my God, that's terrible.
And then, they had him handcuffed to his bed until recently. The man paralyzed from the waist down. Where the hell is he going?
Where he going? Where he running to?
Like, where is he going? And on top of that, he didn't do anything but try to break up a fight. Wait for y'all to get there to take it over.
Yeah,
Them being
you
a
didn't
black
get there
man,
in time to take up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Opposite V drinking Corona and Shelly feeling ill. Yeah.
But I'm over here catching it. When I say my ears is ringing, my head is popping, I'm over here like, okay, how many more minutes is on the screen?
Probably
I
because
am
you got
like
up
feeling
early.
like, girl, it's something I feel like shit though.
That's
Ugh.
how I was feeling. Now that I'm back home, y'all, and my air stays on
Don't even try it, Vaughn. That is so mean. I cannot breathe at all. Like, I'm not at all.
allergy.
Something about to kill me over here,
What do you
honey.
got to say about all this? Like, as far as the police, an agency that's created to actually police the police. Like,
I think that should be in place, and I don't think it should be just random picks of people doing it. You have to pick upscale people, not like saying upscale like rich, but I'm saying upscale people that believe in principle, morals, and all the above. You can't, because you don't know, you know, people is prejudiced under the skin. You don't know what you're picking. But I agree with that. I do agree that there should be some kind of enforcement, even down to the sheriff himself, honey, and the head of the department. They all of them some kind of messy.
Well, that's just like if you look at like the prosecutors on like the local level, how many cases they won't file because lack of evidence, constitutional violations, misconduct from the police, and they won't even take the case. They just don't even bother with it. Then they just harass these people, and there's no recourse for the person who was harassed. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, well, we just ain't gonna charge you. We just gonna sweep that on the rug and it's over. Like, that's don't make sense. Orlando said, I wish he wouldn't have went back to his car. I know, Orlando. That's what I say too. And like Shelly said, I think a lot of things can be avoided. Just because you have the right don't mean you can exercise it, because they're not caring about your right. And sometimes you got to pick your poison and be like, okay, I'm going to stand here. Y'all break this up, and then just let me go home with my kids the way I came over here.
Exactly. That's what. But he was, as you can see, because when you see him walking to the car, he was angry, and he probably was angry that they was walking behind him. When you saw him,
I didn't see him saying anything.
He wasn't saying, he was walking, but I think it was his gesture, the way, the body language expression. I get this all day, every day. I'm at work. My people always tell me, well, your body language, that's the way you looked at me, the way you said that to me. So I know that's like when somebody thinks you're saying something and it's a movement that ain't really meaning that. You know what I mean? It's always misconstrued.
A lot of it, keep it real, is the intimidation that they feel by black men. That's just
half the black men probably can whoop half these cops' asses on a good day. So you have to think about that too. Their only defense is their gun.
Yeah. But a lot of it is intimidation. What I saw with my own two eyes was he saw them pull up and was like, I'm glad they're here. Let me walk to my car. Instead of them even asking what was going on, they just went straight to him. He walked up to his car. They like, stop. He getting in his car. His back. You shoot him 7 times in the back.
His back was turned. But they paralyzed him. So you think about it. What kind of life is he gonna have now?
No, you ain't even thinking about the big picture. What if he just shot one of the kids in the car?
Right.
That could be justified.
And you doing all of this in front of somebody's kids.
That's the most.
Yeah, you gotta pick your poison though.
That's excessive.
The best advice I can give people now: you get pulled over by a white cop. If they look like they about to start with you, don't go acting ignorant with the white cop. And you already know what kind of times we living in. It's crazy. just humble down. Sometimes you gotta sit your ass down and just don't say nothing. I mean, I'm not saying like let nobody bully over you, but if you know this situation's about to go south, you do it like Von's brother said. Hit your phone, record it, but don't start being ignorant, going back and forth, and then you got 20 people trying to jump on you, 15 cops trying to knock you upside the head over nothing.
So
Sad
what
to
about
say that.
So on the flip side, we see all the times the ones that do comply. There's yes, sir, no, sir, all this, and they still snatch them out that car. So that, I mean, you damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's a lot that are respectful, and they still act that way because they have authority issues. They feel like they are above the law. They can do whatever they want to do because they wear that badge. And like I said, a lot of them don't even know the law. They don't know the penal codes. They don't know none of this shit. So when somebody start quoting it to them and say, well, or call your captain, they're supposed to come out if you request for them to come out. And you sit there and you wait, but by the time they get there, they done beat the hell out of you or killed you. So then what? What do you do then? But anyway, Angel said, let's take the churches in the Ridgeview community, for example. The community with the highest crime rate in Hickory is surrounded by at least 6 to 8 churches, correct? The churches won't do anything because they benefit more from the city than they do the community. Not for the most part is willing. No one for the most part is willing to create an agency or do anything to hold the police accountable due to the backlash, lack of benefits, not to mention the city funding this type of agency. You got a point. You got a point because we have like she said, 6 to 8 black churches. It's like block to block, like bloop, 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 like a little monopoly board. They just all in the same area. So she's right about that, you know. And, you know, with the corona and people not attending church like they, you know, usually do, you know what I mean? The tithes are low and all this kind of stuff. So you got a valid point with that. I would say if an agency is created to police the police, eventually an agency would need to be created to police those policing the police. A better method of hiring is needed, reducing the bureaucracy. That's true too. But when we gonna get that? But I'm saying, like, if you have like really good people and honest people, that people that's like for the right thing in these positions, not just starting a task force to police the police just to throw one together. I mean, people that's like, you know what, they got to be held accountable for this and don't care about the repercussions of it. They just doing the right thing. Those are the people that I'm talking about, them placing to police the police is what I'm saying. Not just, and you know, eventually, you know, people get greedy. Remember them cops in Atlanta? Remember when they had that group called the Red Dogs years ago?
Years ago.
And they were kicking in people's doors, taking their drugs and money and everything, locking these dudes up. Eventually, they cracked down and they had to let all those dudes out and lock all those officers up for misconduct and all that bad shit they was doing. So that worked in that case, but they had locked up a whole lot of people and they was getting rich off them boys. Keep it real. They was getting rich off of them. So, you know, yeah. I remember that back in the day. They did not play. They ain't play. But all those dudes that got locked up under them, they all got out. Whether they was right or wrong, because it was so much misconduct, you know, falsifying reports, all that type of stuff. So, you know, and in their case, it worked, but they need more of that now nationwide as a whole. And then, you know, just like you ain't even heard nothing about the coronavirus. That's like them because all this other stuff, they trying to cover up stuff. And what's the word I'm looking for? They trying to like put up another thing to get you distracted from that. But that's still here. It's still out here. So y'all still be safe. But they try to make you focus on the other things so that you don't pay attention to that. So you got to be careful. You got to watch stuff. Abba said, yeah, it was Orlando Internal Affairs. I had said that earlier. Abba said the hiring practices seem to be focused on numbers versus quality. I can agree with that, Abba.
Yeah, that's true, Abba.
Andrew said they will pull you over, take your money and drugs, and ask you, do you want to go to jail or go on your way as if nothing happened. Yes, ma'am. They did it a lot. I mean, it's still some that do it. You know what I'm saying? Just recently, an incident happened down there that I heard about that, it's crazy, but it is what it is. That's where we live in. Greed overtakes everything. They say money is the root of all evil. So, hey.
All the evil, honey. People kill you with $1.
But anyway, y'all can hit us on our inbox if y'all have anything else that's, y'all want to talk about pertaining to all the stuff that's going on. We like to keep it fun too, but we like to talk about some serious issues every now and then because we, so much going on in the world. We try to lighten everybody's mood, so to speak, and talk about all kinds of things. But no topic is off limits. We talk about everything. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Naughty Nice 22. And y'all, please go to the Shelly Live and V Love Bird fan page. From there. And please go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Opposite Shelly looks like she could use a big warm hug and NyQuil. More NyQuil.
I'm telling you, Ava, I'm finna go drug up. You don't understand. I feel bad. So don't worry. I'm on my way off. Yeah, I'm on my way off this video.
I don't know.
You might what?
I might go for me a ride.
I'm going for a ride right in that bathroom, taking a shower, running the steam, taking this NyQuil, like he said, drinking some hot tea, and I'm going to be out. My head is about to bust. Y'all, we love you, but we got to end this live. I can't even hang on the live right now. My head is hurting.
Well, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get Shelly up off this live, but we love you guys, and we will see you tomorrow.
Shelly Live and Be Love Bird, y'all. Loving life and loving what we do as always.
Good night, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuned into Naughty or Nice. Let's go. Man, want no fake love.
Play the music.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuned into Naughty or Nice. Let's go. Me want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Shelly Live, me want no fake love, and V Love Bird. Have you ever met a sister with her shit together? Maintaining, never complaining, trying to make shit better. She's got a real good life with the right frame of mind. She's the real deal, baby, and she know how to grind. On the job or in the bedroom, baby, the truth. And with her by your side, homeboy, you can't lose. Just slip on the dress and go to work like a pro. Then bring that ass home and drop it down to the floor. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's a lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's the lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets. Shelly Live and Be Love Bird. Shelly Live and Be Love Bird. Shelly Live and Be Love Bird. Yeah. Shelly Live and Be Love Bird. Shelly Live and Be Love Bird. Shelly Live and Be Love.
You stop it.
Good night, y'all. Tell night.
Good night. Night.
You're looking rough, girl. I'm gonna let her go. Y'all, she look rough.
Feeling bad, y'all. It's bad.